Hello everyone, it's your options guy. Welcome back to another video. Man, so we had to talk about AMD, Advanced Micro Devices. AMD has definitely been the play today, and I'll show you why. It was basically like the most popular play of today. So we have a lot to cover today. So basically I'm going to go over this news article, and then it's basically saying Advanced Micro Devices is breaking out. Is this it for bears? We're gonna try to figure out if the fun's gonna continue tomorrow. Is the rally gonna continue, or is the fun over? Is it a time for bears to come in? So we're gonna try to figure out basically which way it's gonna go, and I'll give you basically my personal opinion of where I think it's heading and basically what I'm gonna do. I'll show you exactly what I'm doing, which plays I'm doing with AMD. So I'll also show you guys basically the whole orders that came in for AMD. I'll show you the bullish flow. I'll show you the bearish flow, and then as you can see, the bullish flow has a total of $57.2 million in call order premiums. So it's huge. It took #1 spot today. I'll go into more detail in that in a second. We'll also cover some technicals, and I'll show you basically like where it's at, what happened and where I think it's heading. And lastly, again, I'll show you basically my place of what I'm doing. But before we get into any of that, I just want to emphasize that I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just doing this for entertainment purposes, just giving my thoughts and opinions. And make sure you check out my channel. Make sure you subscribe. I'm really getting close to that 1,000 subscribers, so thank you for the support. And if you like this video at any time, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, leave any comments if you have any questions, and let me know, like, were you already into this play for today? What are you gonna do? What are your expectations, and so on. So let's start off with basically this article that came out. So basically what happened recently is AMD, it had its earnings. The company reported earnings per share of 63 cents, beating the estimate of 54 cents per share. The company also reported quarterly revenue of 3.885 billion, beating the estimate of 3.62 billion. So that's pretty huge. That's one of the reasons why it kind of like started like kicking off into a rally mode. And then they also show basically like a trading view type of like chart analysis of what's going on there. So down here, they say that the shares look to be breaking out of resistance in what technical traders call an ascending triangle pattern. The stock is trading above both the 50-day moving average and the 200-day moving average, indicating the sentiment in the stock has been bullish. Also right here it says key AMD levels to watch. The ascending triangle looks to be breaking out after trading within the pattern since around September. I think this is a typo. I think they meant to say September 2020, but obviously it can be into the future of September 2021. Anyway, so right here it says the $100 level has held as resistance in the past, and the higher low trend line built up to this level before the stock was finally able to cross above. And this is probably like the most important part right here. So the relative strength index, the RSI, has been moving higher the past couple of weeks and now sits at 78. So that's well into the overbought range. So the RSI with a resistance break is a promising sign that the stock is seeking a breakout, which I think it already did. But anyways, it says right here, what's next for AMD? Bullish traders are looking to see the stock make a nice bullish push as it breaks out. And basically, bulls they want to keep it above 100, and bears, they want to bring it back down under 100. So that's basically what's going on. That's the most recent news. I mean, there's other news as well regarding AMD, but I'm not going to go into detail with that. So let's move on over here. So let me show you basically AMD, like all the calls that came in. And then again, this is 330 orders that came in for today. By the way, these orders are premium orders, as in like each order is at least 25k or more. So let me show you. So if I click on AMD, then it pops up right here. So first, let's take a look at the latest trades that came in at the very last 10 minutes. So the last ones that came in, they have an expiration of 7:30 at 83.5 strike. So that's just super in the money. Here's 91, here's 75, here's 100. and here's 110, but it's further out expiration. And that was a pretty big order. It's 242,000. That's a sweep order. And yeah, so those are basically like the ones that came in like last minute. So let's filter this by the most highest premium basically. Wow, look at these. There's 1 million orders right here, and then this big one at 3.2 million. So this one has a strike at 105 with an expiration of 10/15. So essentially, whoever made this order, they're expecting AMD to be well above 105 by this time, by this expiration. I mean, obviously they can close this out earlier, but that's basically like the type of trade that they're doing. So these are the big orders, as in like premium orders, like the biggest ones. Even after the $1 million ones, there's some big ones over here with almost $1 million. And yeah, so pretty big orders. So now let's filter by which ones have the higher strikes. So here's 150 strikes, 140 strikes, but these are all like in 2022, so they have a further out expiration. So I mean, this is just like basically being bullish, like long term. And then also let's filter down by, lastly, let's filter down by which ones are expiring first. So actually it's right here. So these are the ones that are gonna expire basically tomorrow. So you can see the strikes right here. So 104s, 102s, 103s, 100s, and so on. So yeah, basically AMD overall, it had a lot of orders, a lot of call orders today, which I think added to the rally. I think it had like a 6% rally today, which is pretty big. And then of course Tesla number 2 and so on, but I'm not going to get into those. So now let's take a look at the bearish side. So on the bearish side, AMD is number 3, but as you can see, it only has 58 orders and $3.9 million worth of those $58. I mean 58 orders compared to the 330 on the bullish side. But one thing to take note of, or at least that I took note of, is that these bearish orders, or these put orders, they basically started coming in towards like the end of the day, and pretty heavily actually. So if I open that up, so that way we can take a look at what's going on. So if we look at the last orders that came in, there are strikes of 85, 197, 104s were in, 102s, 103s, 85, 102. Overall, let's see which one was the biggest orders. So the biggest orders are on a $250,000 right here, and that's for 120. This is further out, like 2022, 2022. So basically, when you see something that's just further out, they're trying to give themselves a little bit more time for it to go down, just in case if it keeps rallying, you know. So that's basically like what's going on there. And yeah, so now let's take a look at technical analysis. So what I'm showing you right here is basically, I think it's like a 1 year chart. Yeah, 1 year chart. So for almost like the past year, AMD has literally been like within this range, with like somewhat of a strong support of 72 and a resistance at 100. So it's just literally been bouncing like within this range. And then finally over here, you can see that it broke above the resistance at 100. And so it's been like going up this upward trend, and then it broke the resistance. And because it broke the resistance, that caused like a further rally up, and with the earnings and everything, so it's just been rallying for like probably like basically like the past week has just been rallying. And yeah, so anyways, where do I see this heading next? So I mean, long term, I think AMD is a good play. I think long term, if you're in it, definitely a good play. I see it, you know, just it's just like a steady play, or if anything, it's branching out to be somewhat of a blue chip. It doesn't move that much, but when it does move, it's great and everything, kind of like, you know, the regular blue chip type of place. But anyways, that's in the long term. In the short term, however, I feel like it is going to come down. If anything, it's going to come down and retest that 100 line. So it may retest it to see if it bounces back off of it as support. We'll see if the 100 is the new support. But as you can see, basically the RSI down here, it's definitely in the overbought range. So usually when anything gets in the overbought range, it definitely comes back down. almost always. So as you can see here, we go back to previous times when it used to be in the overbought range. So you see how right here it just like rallied and then it started coming back down, and then it kind of like stayed within this range and so on. So same thing here, it rallied above the overbought range. So I feel like in the short term it's gonna come back down and then, you know, possibly continue from there. So because I saw this and because I saw that it rallied up a little bit too much too fast, I feel like it's gonna come down. And just based on like looking at the futures, it doesn't seem like it's gonna be a good Friday tomorrow. If anything, we may see some further downside, especially with everything that's going on with inflation and the Delta variant and Jerome Powell, you know, like all those keywords that are basically bringing the market down. So with that being said, what I did, if I go over to my Robinhood account, you can see right here basically my play. So I have 2 puts expiring on 8/20 expiration, and it's funny because when I actually bought them, I was in the negative. I was down like 20% because it just kept rallying, but then like towards like the end of the day, I actually ended up being in the positive, so I'm only up 1%. So I'm hoping, because AMD is actually down a little bit more. So if I open it up, AMD is, yeah, so if I open up, AMD is at 101 right now. It had about a $1.59 drop in the after hours, which is actually good for me because I started making money around here and now it's even further down. So hopefully it stays down or goes a little bit further down back to retest that $100 range that I was talking about. And, you know, I plan to profit off of that. So that's my play going into tomorrow. I hope it pays off. And if it doesn't, then oh well, I'm not really risking that much. But just because I saw that it's the RSI is well into the overbought range, I feel like it's gonna come down, or at least it's due for a slight pullback. So all in all, AMD was keen today. It definitely outshined like everything else by a lot. So yeah, it beat Tesla. Tesla's usually at the top right here. Tesla and Apple are usually like in the top, but AMD was definitely like the winner today. So kudos to you if you were in the AMD play. I know like if you had some expirations for today and you bought them yesterday, you definitely plus a lot. Like I saw like 100% plus returns on those calls. So yeah. Anyway, that's it for today's video. If you liked the video, make sure you hit the like button, make sure you subscribe, and leave a comment if you have any questions. I'll see you guys in the next video.